Hello class, this is Leah Whitley. I'm doing week 7 for our demonstration speech. This week I have chosen to demonstrate to you how to make Reese's Pieces peanut butter cookies, and they are amazing. So before I get started, I want to go over a couple of little things a lot of people forget to do that's very important when you bake. When a recipe calls for, let's say, a teaspoon of baking soda, so I've got my teaspoon. What you don't want to do is this. You see how it's still sticking up right there? It's very important when you bake that you want to make sure it's packed and leveled. Alright, so you see this here? This is a teaspoon. I'm going to level it with the end of a butter knife. Works just wonderful. And there you go. You see nothing on top there. That is a level teaspoon. Anything more, anything less can cause problems when you're baking. That goes for flour. And something else important that you should know when you're messing with brown sugar. When it says firmly packed brown sugar, you want to make sure when you're making your cup of brown sugar that it is firmly packed to a point. It should look like this. See if you can get a good view of that. One big solid chunk. That is firmly packed brown sugar. The reason is because it happens to be a little soft and it is a bit fluffy. So if you put a cup of it in here without packing it down, you're not truly getting a cup of brown sugar. So anyway, I thought I'd pass that along before we get started. First thing we're going to do is mix our butters and our sugars. The recipe calls for 2 sticks of butter or 1 cup. This should be softened, and I recommend using real butter, although you can use margarine. Stick butter's the best. Helps your cookies. Alright, so then we have 1 cup of white sugar. Add that right there. You have 1 cup of your light brown sugar that is firmly packed. Alright. 1 cup of peanut butter. Some people use chunky, some people use creamy. I prefer half and half. I like it half chunky, half creamy peanut butter. But to each his own with that. You want 1 cup of that right there. You scrape it off too, because you can actually miss quite a bit if you don't scrape. Take your knife and there you go. Alright. Your peanut butter, and the next thing you want to do is get your eggs. Now when I do eggs, I like consistency, so I like to slightly beat them in a separate bowl before adding. Some recipes will actually call for you not to do that. This one does not. You can do it either way. I prefer consistency. There we go. My eggs are in. And again, you want to make sure you get it all best that you can. Alright, and your eggs. And then you're going to add your vanilla. The recipe here calls for 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Now, the way I do this with vanilla, if just a little tiny bit gets over, I like vanilla. A little bit won't hurt. But if you got, you're not good at pouring things, there's your teaspoon. Pour it over a bowl so your excess doesn't make it into your cookies. Alright. And then we want to get your mixer. And you will mix this mixture until it is light and fluffy. And for time restraints, I will pause while I do this. Alright, and I'm back. Now, it usually runs about 2 minutes. Okay, you want to make sure it's nice, light, fluffy. It should be something like this when you're done with it. So now we're going to set this to the side for a second. Next, you will get your flour, your baking soda, and your salt. These need to be sifted together. If you don't have a sifter, that is not a problem. I didn't use a sifter. You do, however, want to put all of your dry ingredients, the flour, your baking soda, and your seasoned salt in a small bowl by itself. And you'll take your whisk, and you'll whisk it around a bit. Mix, almost as if you're doing scrambled eggs. So be careful because it does and can get messy. Alright, so I've already pre-sifted mine for time's sake. And so at this point, what you want to do is you want to start adding your flour mixture into your peanut butter mixture that we just made. And the way I like to do this is roughly about 3/4 of a cup at a time. I pour it over the top. And to avoid making a huge mess with your mixer, I have to get all the flour wet first before I turn on my mixer. That way we don't get a big puff of flour everywhere. So you'll mix it just a little bit. You want to turn on your mixer. Blend it. Then you'll add a little bit more. And you repeat this process until your flour is completely gone. And to save a little time, I'll pause while I finish this step. Alright, I have all my flour mixed in. It's important to know that when you start to mix more flour, it will become thick. Very, very thick. So we have to put a little elbow grease in there with it. Something that I didn't go over at first that I need to go over is your oven should be preheated. You need to preheat your oven to 350, and I usually preheat the oven before I ever start. It's not a good idea to stick cookies or any other baked goods in the oven while it's preheating, because your coils are lit up orange and red while it's preheating. Once it's preheated, those coils go off. If you stick your food in there while those coils are still hot, heating up, there's a good chance you're going to burn the bottom of your cookies. Something else I like to do, it's not required, I use wax paper when I put my cookies on there, because it's very easy once you pull them out to pick up and move the wax paper with the cookies to pull. Not to mention it saves a ton of time when you're cleaning. Alright, so after you've got all of your ingredients mixed, the last thing we want to mix are the Reese's Pieces. They're the miniature Reese's Pieces. You can use the normal ones. I got these in the baking section. And how I do it is I mix the layer, and then you'll fold them. I'm going to fold them really well. And then I'll mix another layer. And you keep mixing and you fold them until you no longer have any more Reese's Pieces. For this particular recipe, it calls for 2 cups, but a little extra here and there of Reese's Pieces never hurt anybody. So I'm going to finish getting this mixed up. Once you get it done, you'll drop it by teaspoonfuls on your cookie sheet, and you bake them approximately 10 to 12 minutes. So when I come back, we will have some cookies. And real quick before I put those in, I wanted to show you what these should look like on your cookie sheet. You know, without moving everywhere. This is about what you're wanting your consistency to look like. The bigger your heapings, the bigger the cookies. And this is what your dough looks like. Alright? So give me about 10-12 minutes and we'll have some hot, fresh cookies. Hello everyone, it has been 12 minutes now, and here are the delicious cookies. Now once they cool, they will solidify a little more. Right now they're fresh out of the oven, so they're a little bit soft, extremely hot, but that is how you make Reese's Pieces peanut butter cookies. Hope you all enjoyed my video. I will leave the recipe with the ingredients and how to cook those along with the link to this video. Thank you, and y'all have a great day.